Mira stood in front of the bathroom mirror, tugging at the oversized gray sweater that swallowed her frame. It wasn't ugly, exactly, just shapeless, faded, and intentionally dull. She tied her hair into a messy bun and didn't bother fixing the uneven strands falling across her face. A swipe of lip balm, no makeup, no effort. Perfect. This way he'll lose interest in 10 minutes, she muttered to herself. She wasn't in the mood for romance, not after her last relationship left her drained and insecure. Her friends insisted this blind date would lift her spirits, but she only agreed so they would stop nagging her. The cafe was warm, golden, and buzzing softly. Mira chose a corner table where she could hide behind a plant. She slumped into her seat and scrolled aimlessly on her phone, rehearsing excuses to leave early. Then the door chimed. Adrian stepped inside with quiet confidence. Tall, sharply dressed in a simple black coat, yet somehow humble in his posture. He scanned the room, not with arrogance, but with curiosity. His assistant had begged him to take a break from his endless meetings, convincing him to try a blind date, like a normal person. The moment his eyes landed on Mira, he paused. Everyone else in the cafe seemed to melt into the background. She wasn't dressed to impress. No bright colors, no perfect hair. She looked real, comfortably herself, and something about the honesty in that pulled him toward her before he even realized he was moving. Meanwhile, Mira noticed a shadow approach her table. She sighed, bracing herself for disappointment, hers or his. She didn't expect his first smile to be so genuine. And he didn't expect to feel something, instantly. Adrian slid into the seat across from Mira with a warm, disarming smile. "You're Mira, right?" His voice was gentle, almost relieved. She blinked behind her smudged glasses. "Yeah, and you're Adrian." She expected him to hesitate, to scan her outfit and instantly regret coming. But he didn't. He looked genuinely pleased to be there, which only made her suspicious. "Did you find the place easily?" he asked. "GPS exists," she muttered, staring into her cup. He laughed, an honest, unpolished laugh that surprised even him. Mira glanced up, unsure if he was laughing at her or at something else entirely. But his eyes were sincere, warm, and impossibly attentive. Adrian tried to start small talk, but Mira's bluntness kept catching him off guard. "So what do you do?" she asked without looking up. "I run a company." "What kind?" "A tech startup," he said simply, leaving out the fact that it wasn't a startup. It was a multi-billion-dollar empire. Mira nodded. "Sounds stressful. You look like someone who works too much." Adrian's brows lifted. "I get that a lot. You should listen to people," she said casually. "Stress makes you wrinkle." He burst out laughing again, and Mira bit the inside of her cheek. She wasn't trying to be funny. She was just being herself, the version she usually hid on dates. But Adrian found every unfiltered comment refreshing. No fake compliments, no forced elegance. He watched how she tucked her hair behind her ear when she got nervous. How she tapped her foot when annoyed. How she didn't pretend to be impressed by him, because she had no idea who he really was. For the first time in a long time, Adrian felt seen. Not as a billionaire, not as a CEO, just as a man sitting across from a woman who wasn't trying to impress him, and somehow impressed him the most. After an hour inside the cafe, Adrian suggested they take a walk. Mira hesitated. She had planned to escape after 10 minutes, but something about him felt unexpectedly easy. Safe. They walked down the quiet street lined with dimly lit stores and drifting evening breeze. Mira kept her hands in her sweater pockets, staring at the ground as if the cracks in the pavement were more interesting than the man beside her. "You know," she finally said, exhaling sharply, "I didn't really come here to impress you." Adrian turned his head, listening. Mira wasn't used to being listened to. "I dressed like this because," she shrugged, "I'm tired of pretending. Tired of guys expecting me to be perfect. Tired of performing this fake version of myself." Adrian stopped walking. "Mira," he said gently, "maybe that's exactly why I like you." She froze. "What? You're the only person today who hasn't acted like they were auditioning for something." His voice carried a quiet sincerity that startled her. "You're real, honest. Do you know how rare that is?" Before she could form a reply, a clicking sound echoed. Then another. She turned. bright flashes. Cameras. A group of paparazzi emerged like a storm. "Sir, over here. One photo. Is this your new girlfriend? Adrian, look this way." Myra's heart hammered. Why are they? Who are they talking to? Adrian's jaw tightened. In seconds, two men in discreet black suits appeared, scanning the area. "Sir, your car is ready," one whispered. "The board meeting has been pushed by 20 minutes. We need to move." Mira stared at them, then at him. "Board meeting," she repeated. "Sir." A heavy silence. Adrian's eyes softened with guilt. "I wanted to tell you later. I just wanted one normal day first." She stepped back, her breath caught between shock and hurt. "You're famous." He nodded slowly. "I'm more complicated than I look." Mira took a shaky step back, her mind racing. She had spent the entire evening being herself. Messy hair, oversized sweater, unfiltered words, and he had hidden this enormous secret from her. How could she trust him now? Adrian noticed her hesitation and stepped closer, lowering his voice. "Mira, please, don't walk away yet. I don't know what to say," she admitted, her voice trembling. "You made me feel normal tonight. And now," she gestured to the flashing cameras, the men in suits, the world that suddenly intruded into their quiet walk. "Now I don't even know who you really are." He took her hand gently, holding it as if he feared letting go might make her disappear. "I didn't fall for the billionaire, Mira. I didn't fall for the fame, the money, or the power. I fell for the girl sitting in that cafe, spilling her coffee on her sweater, talking about life like it mattered, laughing like it was the first time in years she felt free." Mira stared at him, her eyes welling with tears. She had never heard anyone speak to her like that, so honest, so unguarded, so vulnerable. "I wanted to tell you everything," Adrian continued softly. "But I wanted you to see me first, without the distractions, without the expectations. And now I can't imagine this evening ending without you knowing the truth, not just about me, but about how I feel." Her defenses slowly crumbled. "And how do you feel?" she whispered, almost afraid of the answer. "I like you, more than I've liked anyone in a long time. You make me feel alive in ways money never could." Myra's lips curved into a reluctant smile. The tension melted into something tender, fragile, and real. "Then promise me one thing," she said quietly, squeezing his hand. "No more secrets. Just honesty." He smiled, leaning in. "Only if you promise me one thing too." "What's that?" "Next time, maybe dress a little nicer." She laughed, a sound of pure relief and happiness, shaking her head at his teasing. "We'll see." For the first time that night, amidst the chaos and flashes of cameras, Mira felt like she belonged, not in a world of wealth or fame, but in a moment that was perfectly theirs.